Hey y'all, it's the first day of 2023, January 1st. Happy New Year. Yak at you for a few minutes. I stayed home last night. I stopped doing New Year's Eve gigs probably well over 10 years ago. Um, Never enjoyed a single one of them. I played a lot of New Year's Eve gigs. I played some wild ones which were notable, but they weren't fun. They were just a big drunken mess. And so I was happy to stay home last night. I was also happy that even though there was a fair amount of fireworks throughout the night, which was kind of strange, at midnight here in my neighborhood, it did not go ape shit like it has in past years. It really was a lot less gunfire and explosions, although strangely it kept going. I'd be awakened at 2, 3 in the morning, and then boom. World is crazy. It is. Anyway, just want to just ramble a little bit. I had a couple things for sure I wanted to talk about. Oh, well, excuse me. So 2022 was very, very intense. This year will likely be the same. But if you follow me on social media, what I've said, and let me look it up so I can quote myself, is I always want to just share an optimistic thought, because that's how it starts. What did I say today? A couple things. I said, in reality, today is just another day. The change comes from within us. Then I also said, I declare this year 2023 to be one of increased love and unity. We can make it happen. Some folks might think that's just flowery, powery, pie in the sky notions, which they are, but they are true aspirations from my soul. I want peace. I want peace. It's like I want to encourage folks to think about it. We are in a time of deep, deep political and social division, and none of it for any good reasons. I wonder if people who don't have any money, who go around angrily pointing fingers and blame placing and putting others down, I don't think they understand that all that they're doing is making it easier for the rich people. Here we are down on the ground squabbling over table scraps set against one another by people in higher positions who know very well that their interest is not us. And so they're happy to see us destroy each other while they reap the benefits of it. And I watch this all the time in the events of the world. So that's why I put out the message that it's up to us, but we have to be conscious. And because of the lowering of the educational standard in America over the decades, as a nation, we're very, very dumb and very reactionary and very easy to be manipulated. And that's what's going on. Politics is manipulating us. I'm going to talk about music in a minute, but I'm going to say it again here because I don't care if I trigger anyone, because, my message is clear, and a person being triggered is not hearing me. Their filter is being triggered. I am not espousing the two-party system because it is totally broken. I am espousing human concerns very clearly. which is above and beyond politics, and that's why I bring it up, because it's obvious that politicians are not concerned with those things at all. They're concerned with power. And people who fight for them and argue with one another is because of that. That's really stupid. Doesn't help anybody but them. So I'll continue to speak my mind, and be an encourager for moving towards peace and unity rather than this ongoing madness, which is serving no one any good purpose except for the rich bitches keeping the fat of the land to themselves. That's what I got to say about that. Looking ahead, and I try to, again, not be too future oriented. I look forward to things, but I try to live in the here and now. But already this year I have 3 new records to coming out. Physical releases this year, which I'm excited about. My new solo album, which is in the works. My hardcore punk band, which is really beyond punk, RAF. Expecting the test pressing this month. And I played bass on one track on the new upcoming Mana Mirage album by Dave Newhouse. I'm excited about those things already in the works. And hopefully more to come besides that. But the music work continues, and it's very fulfilling. So when it comes to music, I haven't played any records yet. I don't have a tradition about what's the first record you're going to play in the new year. I couldn't tell you the first record I played in the past. You know, I've done it. I haven't played anything yet. I'm kind of thinking about playing my own music to start the new year as kind of an omen, you know, a good omen. But last night, while at home, I did play some music that's kind of celebratory. To me, Heavy Weather by Weather Report has always struck me as a very celebratory, upbeat, happy album. I like every track on this, and I saw them on this tour. Seen Weather Report 3 times. Was very happy to see them on this tour because they were in a good place in the world. Things were going well for them, and it transferred in the performance. This is a great album. Their best known album, although I don't think it's their best. I think that hardly matters, really. They just made some great records. Don't play U2 very much, but it did cross my mind. New Year's. Yeah, New Year's Day. I used to play this, Digital Sex. We covered the song New Year's Day. And this was back before U2 was a household name. We were still turning Nebraska and Omahans onto the band U2. And this is my 1983 copy I've had since then, and I like it. I like the album quite a bit. And I always thought that the cover, The Boy, there's a lot being said there. Not just about war. I respect U2. I've always liked them. I saw them on the Zoo TV tour. It was very good. Okay, so it was time for some Can last night. I just love this band, and what can I say? Well, what I said last night online, because I like to share what I'm playing, is that this is old music that doesn't sound old. It sounds now. And it really does. It sounds like they played this today. Live in Brighton, 1975. It's just a very alive expression. They're playing music in the moment. And that moment is now. And it's fantastic that it still sounds like now, even though it was in 1975. Fantastic band. Played a little bit of this. We used to be friends online. I don't know what happened to him. Cyrille Verdeaux, Clearlight Symphony, associated with people like Steve Hillage and Tim Blake and Gong and stuff. Messenger of the Sun. So this is kind of thematic, but it has those cosmic qualities like Gong all through it. The bubbling and burbling and positive chords, So this was nice, but it's not great, but it's pretty good. Messenger of the Sun. This is a great song. Elvis Costello, I don't know if he wrote it for Robert Wyatt, but this is the best version of it. Shipbuilding, Robert Wyatt. And to me, the words, even though they're kind of they're topical about a particular time, what it's talking about is still relevant. And Robert Wyatt has quite a voice, just a voice to die for. I don't know if he would want to be bothered with being interviewed at his age, honestly. But he's someone I wouldn't mind just meeting. Not so much interviewing, but just having a chat with and spending time with. Very important figure in my life, Mr. Robert Wyatt. So it was time to rediscover this band. Jaga Jazzist. European band. I forget exactly which country. I have two of their albums. Well, three actually. Well, four actually. Two on CD, two on vinyl. Starfire. This has a real nice cover is this lenticular? Notice how it does that? Isn't that nice? And musically, this is really good. It's subtle. I understand why they have the word jazz in the name of the band. It isn't jazz. It's not rock. It's such a beautiful hybrid. I love hybrids. You know, they've carved out an area of their own and continued it with this album, the last one that came out that I know of, Pyramid. Real tasty and melodically uplifting. Love stuff like this. Great cover too. It's on clear vinyl. Played a little bit of this, but mostly I pulled this because it was being talked about in a group. One of the South American music groups I'm in. I like being involved in groups from around the world. But the people were going on and on about dust yesterday and how great it is and how hard it is. And I have it, and it's pretty good. But what I was sharing that apparently a lot of people didn't know, I thought everyone knew that the drummer in this band, Mark Bell, is Marky Ramone from the Ramones. Good hard rock album. I've met the Ramones several times. This is so beat, I don't mind holding it like that. And the one time I got to hang out with Marky and talk to him, it was one of those times, and this was back, it was maybe 1980. It was pretty early on. When I got to meet him, I brought up the album Dust, and I love it because it's not a common thing that happens. Oh, you know about that? I love it. I've done it so many times when meeting musicians. It's my favorite moments is when I can be a nerd and say, hey, when you did so-and-so on so-and-so, oh, you know about that? I love it. I love it. And I've had the pleasure several times. I think that one of the best ones was when I had Philip Glass autograph a French import album of his that he didn't own yet, and found out the story behind it, which was very cool. So as always, folks, I want to hear from you. What I'd like to say up front is I cannot determine anything that I've said in this video that would require someone saying something negative, angry, or hateful in the comments. I haven't said anything, so if it happens, I don't know why it would, like it has in the past. In the past, it's like, why is this happening? This is ridiculous. And I'm just making this another effort to say, from my point of view, it does not make sense how negative, divided, and how much we're squabbling as human beings, how much division and nonsensical talk is going on. When I go on Twitter and look at some of the threads, that are associated with political things, and how quickly people devolve into name calling and trying to be funny in a really negative way. It's like, this isn't adult behavior. This, I was taught to not do this, and yet this seems to be where adult life is. It's really disappointing, and it's like one of the ways to combat it is for people to want to become smarter and more self-aware and conscious. Stop and think about it. You know, you and your neighbor are fighting over a flag when both of you are being destroyed by the person that set you against one another with that flag. It's time to wake up, people. It is. Happy New Year.